Hey, folks, we are live. Here we are. It is Monday. It is a week of Christmas, and what a wonderful week it is. It is a great day today. It is great to be here, to be healthy, to be alive. What a great time of the year. This is the positive attitude times of the year. This is the gratitude times of the year. Every day when we start our program, we send our prayers out for everybody in the world touched and affected by this COVID stuff going on, this pandemic. It is worldwide. We will get it behind us and we will overcome of it. When things sometimes look the darkest is when the light is brightest on the other side, knowing that the daylight will come. Our prayers go out for those that have been lost, the loved ones who have been lost by this COVID and in general. And the Lord would open his arms and take them into his kingdom. With that being said, we'll move on. And today we're gonna get into some details about financial mastery coaching, the blueprint. We're gonna talk about action steps. But as I start every presentation, it all starts with thinking correctly, because everything that exists came out of somebody's 6 inches between the ears. I have never seen anybody with much more than that. You know, you got 6 inches from ear to ear, and what's in between is what makes all the difference in the world, because everything that has been created comes from those 6 inches. So we got to remember that. And we have to remember that we have to exercise the thinking muscle. And there is a thinking muscle that's in there. And you know, it's just like the self-talk that I start every day with. You know, do you have a self-talk? What do you say to yourself when you look back in the mirror every morning? I know I have the ability to achieve the object of my definite purpose in life. Therefore, I demand of myself persistent, continuous action toward its attainment, and I here and now promise to render such action. I know the dominating thoughts of my mind will eventually reproduce themselves in outward physical action and gradually transform themselves into physical reality. Therefore, I will concentrate my thoughts for 30 minutes daily upon the task of thinking of the person I intend to become, thereby creating in my mind a clear mental picture. I know through the principle of autosuggestion, any desire that I persistently hold in my mind will eventually seek expression through some practical means of attaining the object back of it. Therefore, I will devote 10 minutes daily to demanding of myself the development of self-confidence. I fully realize that no wealth or position can long endure unless built upon truth and justice. Therefore, I will engage in no transaction which does not benefit all whom it affects. I will succeed by attracting to myself the forces I wish to use and the cooperation of other people. I will induce others to serve me because of my willingness to serve others. I will eliminate hatred, envy, jealousy, selfishness, and cynicism from my mind by developing a positive attitude towards everybody. I will sign my name to this formula, commit it to memory, and repeat it aloud once each day with full faith. It will gradually influence my thoughts and actions, and I will become a more self-reliant and successful person. It's that simple, folks. You've got to build that belief inside of you. And that starts with thinking. When you're thinking differently, then you see things differently than you saw them before. And I'm going to share you some thoughts today on how people see things. You know, when I look at my sheet, I have a worksheet. There it is. No, you can't see it. There it is. See it there? Okay, it's right there. And on there, this is my model. Okay, my engine, my worksheet. And I use this because it really assures me with certainty that I am going to touch every lever, every button in a financial life, in everybody's financial life, so that I cover all the bases. Now, the first rule of financial mastery coaching, the blueprint, is save 20% of your gross annual income. Now, how do I do that? We're going to do that all week this week. We're going to talk about little ideas and action steps to help you move forward and start changing things, to start moving toward the goals and the dreams that you really want in your life. They're there, they're in front of you. Have you given up yet? So many people, they get so caught up at looking at the snakes and dragons at their feet that they forget to look up and they lose sight of the great thing that lies before them. That great thing lies in front of all of us. But it takes action. It takes work. It takes a plan. It takes a dream. It takes a vision to be able to see it. And all of that requires dedicated belief, confidence, courage to move forward to make that stuff happen. You know, when we read stories, I don't know, when I love to read biographies of people that have succeeded, and they all have a story. You know, that story of where they were at one time. Maybe they went bankrupt once. Maybe they were on the edge of bankruptcy. I was there 30 years ago. I was totally lost. I lost all of my belief and confidence that I could move forward. But tomorrow comes. The night comes and then the day comes. And over and over and over again, it is still there. 5 years from now, you're going to be 5 years older anyway. You know, why procrastinate and say, well, I'll do this tomorrow. I'll do this next week. Don't do that to yourself. I'm a professional. I've done that for a long, long time. And I have absolute regrets of times where I had opportunities in front of me. And for some reason, fear, false evidence appearing real, prevented me from taking the step that would have made all the difference in the world. I eventually got over some of those things, and I did finally take the steps and move forward. And then I was saying, oh my, where would I be today if I had not allowed myself to be stopped? And when you think of the things that you fear of failure, fear of success, fear of what other people might say about you, get over it, because they don't pay your bills. They're not keepers of you and your life. You are the keeper. You have the keys. You have the keys to how you think. Nobody can change that. Nobody can change that. So when I think about saving 20% of my income, I have to start looking at, where am I spending my money? Where does my money go? Now, let me say this. If your income doesn't even meet poverty level, and I know there are people out there, but they have dreams also, you have to figure it out. You have to figure out, learn something, train something. I mean, if you're on here watching this, you have access to the internet. And on this internet is all the knowledge of the entire universe. It's all on here. If you want to learn how to do something, just punch it in there and say, I want to know about this. But decide to do something. Take action. Do something. That is what I'm all about, I believe. I believe that I can raise people up to be better, do more, have more, make more money, and therefore I expect them to step up and make a difference in the world. That's what this is about. Making a difference in the world. Now, if I'm saving money, how much am I really saving? The average savings rate in America for a long time has been around 3%. Now, they tell me statistics show that because of this pandemic going on, that the savings rate has increased to 12 to 15%. Why is that? Why can people save so much more money today than they could a year ago or 2 years ago? Because a lot of those things that we used to spend money on are no longer available to spend money. Going out to restaurants so often. You know, I get frustrated on the weekend. I used to love to go out to eat on Friday night, take the family, and we'd go out to eat. But that would cost me a pretty buck every week. Well, now all of a sudden we don't do that. You know, we call out and bring in, which cuts the cost in big ways. So you have an opportunity at this moment in time, an opportunity to make a profound difference in where you go from here. What do I mean by that? I mean that right now you have, because of this pandemic, a lot of the little things that you did along the way have now become unavailable. I can't say they took them away. It's just we have become more conservative, and some of those things we used to do aren't as available today as they were. So in that is the beginnings of a new habit. Remember, thoughts become actions, actions become habits. Habits determine your destiny and who you become. So everything I'm doing, I need now to step up and take advantage of the opportunity that lies in front of me. The opportunity that has limited my activity, limited my mobility, and therefore it allows me to create a discipline of spending less. Therefore, I can save more. So I should be putting money into a bank account in some way on a systematic basis. Remember, here's my income, whatever it is, I need to learn to live on 80%. So if I take home $2,000 a week, or every 2 weeks, or once a month, however it is, $2,000 times 80% is $1,600. So my take-home pay, I'm talking about not gross, I'm talking about my take-home pay after they take all the taxes and everything out. I need to fit and learn to live inside that 80%. And when I do my banking, I'm going to automatically carve out 20% of whatever it is I receive in cash, that net value I receive. I'm going to take 20% of it and I'm going to put it in a savings account in the bank. Don't worry about rate of return right now. We're talking about getting started. It's not the rate of return on your money, it's the return of your money. So don't think about stock market and all that other stuff, because we have to build the foundation first. And I don't care whether you make $100,000 a year, $300,000 a year, or $1 million a year. It doesn't make any difference. If you make more than $200,000 a year, your percentage of savings go up. If you get to $300,000, it's 30%. $250,000, it's 25%. It's $1 million, you should be saving 40% of your income, 40, 50% of your income or more. Because if you're spending it all, you are, I'm not telling you what to do. It's a decision. It's a personal decision each and every one of us have to make in how we manage our lifestyle. The CFO project has inside of it the CFO challenge. Oh, Tom, what's the CFO challenge? Well, the CFO challenge is where you take a 30-day period of time, 1 month, times 3 months. And each month for the next 3 months, you walk around and carry in your pocket a little card or something, a little notebook, little spiral notebook in your pocket whatever, and you write down and keep track of every dime you spend, wherever it is, every dime. Now, the beauty of this process that I teach people is that it grows over time. So here's an example. Once I start to accumulate accessible capital, cash, that I can get my hands on a daily basis without fees or penalties or involving the government in any way. When I have an adequate amount of money there, then I can start looking at some of the other expenses I have. For example, my auto insurance. You know, if you're not doing this, your agent is not educating you, then you need to consider somebody else. Now, I don't sell auto and homeowners insurance, but I have licenses. I am licensed, I understand it, and therefore I can talk about it legally. In the state of Pennsylvania, where I'm at, you have to be legally licensed to give advice or talk about it. The biggest expense on your auto insurance policy is the collision coverage. Collision coverage covers your automobile if the accident was your fault. That's simple. And it generally is the biggest expense, biggest single line item expense on your auto insurance. Now, if I don't have any savings and I don't have any money and my car is financed up at the local bank, the biggest deductible they will allow me to have is a $500 deductible. So I have to have a $500 deductible. Very expensive. I still meet people that have a $250 deductible, which is crazy because, man, that's a couple $100 a year in more premium just there. And people have been led to believe, oh, you want a low deductible. You want no out-of-pocket expense. Hey, folks, step up, take some responsibility. If you really want to get ahead long-term, you have to take responsibility. And this is just a simple responsibility. So the more money I have accumulated in savings, the higher the deductible I can have on my auto insurance. And if I have a car that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, I have one of those. I have a pickup truck that's 13 years old. And I do not have collision coverage on that vehicle. But if I would have financed it at the bank when I purchased it, the bank would have required me to have collision coverage. So that means that's a multiplied loss. So that tells me I have no savings, no money, and I bought a used car and I had to borrow money to pay for it. And when I borrowed the money to pay for it, they required me to have collision coverage, full coverage on this vehicle, which is going to add a couple, $300 a year possibly to your insurance premium. Well, you take $200 or $300 a year and multiply it over the rest of your lifetime, and I think you'll find it's a large amount of money, very large. So those are dollars that we lose unknowingly and unnecessarily. I'm going to cut it off there. We're 20 minutes out. But this is what we're going to do this week. I'm going to take every little piece of a person's typical financial world, and we're going to examine it. We're going to look at how we can save money and put things in perspective. So with that, get my book, The Family Money Farm, The CFO Project. Here it is right here. If you go to cfo-project.com, that's up there, you can get a download for free. Put your name and email address in there. There it is, cfo-project.com. Put your name and email address in, and you'll get an email with a link in it where you will be able to actually download a full copy, cover to cover, of my book, The Family Money Farm, The CFO Project. Now, when you go there, I'm going to recommend that you start investing in you. And there's a $47 investment to get 4 more books. This is one of them over here. Life insurance, will it pay when I die? Another one is live your life insurance. Jumpstart your financial freedom, and the infinite banking concept by R. Nelson Nash. Those 4 books will change your life. Plus a 1-hour video that I produced a year ago in December, a year ago this month. It's a 1-hour video. It'll knock your socks off, folks. It'll give you the simple nitty gritty of how to have 20, 30, 40, 50% more income at retirement and pay 20, 30, 40, 50% less taxes on income at retirement. There it is. And then it goes into debt management and snowballing. It's wintertime. We throw snowballs in the wintertime with the snow, but I'm talking about snowballing debt and getting out of debt, because that's position number 2. Number 1 is save 20% of your income. Number 2, accumulate capital equal to 50% of your household income. And that allows you to own your debt. Number 3 is no consumer debt. So with that, we'll be back tomorrow at noon. We'll continue our discussion of action steps on how to find the money to start saving and changing your life. So God bless everybody. Merry Christmas. Have a happy new year.